take us, just start with the basic. I mean, you've been here a few months now, just the transition. How's it going? How do you feel? Comfortable?
Yeah, I love it here. It's been a great transition. Obviously, if you guys know, I've had to transition a lot in my college career. So, them making it easy to transition here and make it feel like home. And, it's been a great fit. They let me come in right away and insert my personality on the team. And it's just been a great fit, great transition. And we've had a great summer.
Erik, I don't know if pleasure is the right word, but you've had the pleasure of playing for both Coach Martin, Frank, and now Coach Huggins.
Yeah.
What's that been like? Is there any comparisons between the two?
Yeah, it's definitely a pleasure because they're both great basketball brains. They're great basketball minds. Clever. And like I said, they got a lot of knowledge between the both of them. And they're tough on you. There's no question about it. 3 out of the 4 coaches I played for have been like that. Speaking about Marshall at Wichita. It's never really anything new, hearing the guys yell or, having coaches be tough on us. In my opinion, that's how you win. So, that's probably why I came here. It's one of the biggest reasons why I came here is just because I know Hugs is going to have a level of accountability, and we're going to win games.
How do you not take that to heart? You've been through it, so you almost sort of seek it out.
Yeah.
But as an athlete, how do you not internalize that a little bit?
That just comes with maturity. Because, my freshman year, I took it to heart, some of the times. Just because you're coming from high school where, you're the man and, you do whatever you want. And then you get into, high-level basketball in the college ranks, and you got a coach who's getting paid to win games, and you're not winning games. So it's stressful. Tempers flare, and personalities and things come about, and feelings can get hurt. And so, the best way to deal with that is just, take it on the chin and be mature from it. This is my 5th year of college basketball, so it's nothing's really gonna. I don't think anything's gonna bother me at this point. Just stay healthy and stick to my script.
What were their triggers? I know Marshall and Frank and Hugs. They all can erupt. What triggers them?
I'd say Marshall's trigger was forgetting to play and giving up in transition bucket.
Okay.
Frank's trigger was
pretty much everything.
Yeah, Frank's trigger was getting beat to a rebound, and not communicating. And I'd say Hugs' trigger from what I've seen is just being soft. He didn't like that soft stuff. And so we don't have a lot of soft guys on this team, and so it's been a smooth summer, like I said, and obviously we're here now and the ball's rolling, so we're ready to get going.
So when Frank leaves South Carolina, was that kind of what opened the door for you to look at it?
I was going to stay there for sure. I bounced around so much, man. It's tiring. When transferring all the time, it's a long process. It's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of moving. It's a lot of buying new things, moving into new spots, and getting used to new teammates and new environments and whatnot. So, when Frank left, it was a sad day in Columbia, man. Like we were all in our dorm right across from the facility, and we just got a random text, meet film room 230. And we looked around, and like, that can't be good. And, because it's, have meetings a week after the season, you know what I mean? Like, things died down, and, we walked in, and the AD was in there, he was in there, and people with suits on were in there, so it wasn't a good sight. And so when he was gone, it was like damn, well, that's Frank, you know what I mean? He's not a first-year guy, second-year guy. He's been there for 10 years, so it was different. Definitely threw a wrench in my plan, from being there to finish out my career. So I think it was a blessing, though, for sure. Obviously, it's not a blessing for Frank, but he's at UMass now. He's doing a good job. He's going to have a good squad up there, too. But, yeah, I think it was a blessing, though. Obviously, it propelled me to come here and, work on my game, develop my game, and be in this system.
I was going to say, did Frank kind of put in a word for you
yeah, for sure.
to look here, or did you do this on your own? Or?
Well, so we played, when I was at Wichita, we played West Virginia and Mexico. Yeah, and so I had a good game, and they beat us, but it was a really good game, and I think that's where Hugs kind of, got his first look at me, and first taste of how I like to play and operate. And then I transferred obviously back home, and then transferred to Carolina, and then from Carolina things went south towards the end, and then obviously here I am.
How
So
soon was it? What was get us from Frank announcing the firing to you getting to West Virginia?
yeah, so what time we were in Tampa for a conference tournament. That must have been had to be late March.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been 14 days after the season ended. He was
Two weeks, you
yeah.
just made up your mind.
No, 14 days after the season, that's when Frank was gone.
Okay.
And then from then on, it was, I didn't really jump into the portal immediately because, I've been in the portal plenty of times. And so it was like, I talked to my people, talked to my family. I was like, I had to see who they were going to bring in to Carolina. They brought Coach Paris in from Chattanooga. He did a really good job there, though. He battled Illinois hard in the tournament this last year. I watched, and, he gave me his pitch, and, I did my research, and, I wanted to throw my money in the basket where, I'm playing for a Hall of Famer. That was his first year. This is going to be his first year at a high level, down there. He probably will have success because he's a good coach, but, for my last year, I wanted to be somewhere where I know I'm going to win. And Huggins has proven that.
You're going to look back on this bounce from school to school as a good adventure, or as something that maybe other people should have avoided, or does it depend who the person is? Or
It's both, for sure, both. There's definitely positives to it. Positives is, it teaches you how to grow up. Like, I was 18, 19-year-old kid coming into college, and I'm a 23-year-old man. I've been around the country. I played for a lot of different systems, played with a lot of different people. And I've been in systems where, okay, I don't really like that. I've been in systems where I love it. So it's just going to propel me for the future. And it'll prepare me for my my coaching endeavor after my career. I want to be a Hugs one day, So there's definitely positives to it, and there's negatives, man. Like I said, it's tiring, moving around the country, getting used to new people, having to learn new systems, having to meet a whole new staff it seems like every year, just because the way the card's been dealt. It's, it could be a grind, but, if you're not cut out for it, I wouldn't transfer. I'll tell you that.
I know I lived in 11 different places.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
kind of tough.
Similar, man. You just got to get used to your environment. And, for me, man, it was so, my first time transferring back home from Wichita to Washington was so rocky. It was the COVID year. But, we sucked. It was, and I'm not a loser by any means. Like, I'm a sore loser. I'll tell you that right now. Like, I hate losing. You can ask any other guys. Like, I hate losing. And, we lost a lot of games when I was home, and it was miserable. But it taught me a lot. It taught me that, just keep my head down, keep plugging along, and eventually, things will turn around. And here I am.
You were talking about wanting to be a coach someday. Last week Coach Huggins was saying that, you're one of the guys who's kind of stepped up early on and become a leader. Is that just kind of your personality and who you are? Or?
Yeah, that's definitely my personality. When I'm not allowed to express my personality is when I don't perform well, to be honest, because I don't feel like I'm involved. And it was like that at Washington where I was at. Like I'm just fiery, man. I'm competitive. I kind of got a trigger to me, so it's probably good and bad, but it's definitely better than it used to be. I definitely toned it down. But when I feel like I'm involved and I feel like I can lead and have a voice, like the teams I'm on are usually pretty good. So we're gonna have a good year, I promise.
So besides that hard-nosed attitude, evaluate your game. What are we going to see?
I've developed my game a lot, especially this summer. Coming into college, I was obviously I was young. I was a freshman. I was trying to learn the college game, and really was just a, space the floor type of guy. And even though I didn't shoot the ball well, space the floor. Make sure you know the system and don't mess up the plays and get the ball to the guys who can score. So, from that year, my freshman year on, and then sophomore year, I developed my game and had a little more freedom. And then, we had a really good year. We were 23-8. And then that's when I transferred back home. and was the exact opposite of what I was just coming from. I didn't really develop my game a whole lot at Washington just because injuries and surgeries and whatnot. And then I got to South Carolina, and we had a decent year for sure. I think we underachieved just by 2 or 3 games. But we had a good year, man, and I was getting healthy. I was actually just getting healthy when I got back to Carolina. Had a good year, whatever. Finished out. Frank got let go, and then here I am at West Virginia. And one of the biggest things for me was, in the recruiting process this time around, was going somewhere where they're going to allow me to be me, but also develop my game. And I feel like the player development here has been really well executed. Larry's done a great job with it, and the rest of the staff. But Larry's more so with the guards, and so he's done a good job, and he's really kind of let me do my thing. To be honest, so is Hugs. And when you have coaches that let you, express yourself on the court, verbally and with your game, that's just going to develop your game in itself. Because you're allowed to try new things, you're allowed to experiment, and I'm just in the gym. You just got to be in the gym. And not even speaking for myself, I think we have a team full of guys that love being in the gym, and so, it's a recipe for a winning season.
You've been in the portal so much. I'm sure you got a lot of coaches' numbers in your phone.
Yeah.
But do you get a lot of strain when you went in this time? Did you get some numbers like, whoa, who's this guy?
Yeah.
You get some of that?
There's definitely a lot of phone numbers in that contact list that there's probably not a lot of people have. It's a blessing. But like you said, that there's been a couple times where I've been in the portal, and it's just like why? Come on, what are you? Come on, you know what I mean? Just being as respectful as possible. But it is what it is. It's all part of it.
How did Hugs approach you? I know he transferred. He understands that.
Hugs didn't even really approach me, man. It was obviously it was the coach's staff, but it was a lot of Emmett. Because me and Emmett grew up 20 minutes from each other.
Okay.
And obviously Emmett played here, and then he transferred back home. And so we have a lot of a lot of things in common. Because we left home, came back, didn't like it, and left home again. So. We talked a bunch, especially after Frank got fired. We talked a good amount, and obviously I talked to the staff here, and next thing I know, I was on a plane Friday. Well, it was a Friday afternoon. I was coming up here for an official visit, and that was it right there. That was the cherry on the top.
Did he meet you in sweatpants and a little general's pullover?
Yeah, man. I can't remember when the first time I saw Hugs. No, first time I saw Hugs, yeah.
Little general pullover?
Excuse me. First time I saw Hugs was down there in the hotel on the river the next morning because I got in late. I walked downstairs and he had baggy sweats and a baggy top, drinking coffee. That was Hugs, and so I was like,
what you get, right?
I was like, yeah, I'm coming here. It doesn't matter.
Your memories of that tournament against West Virginia way back when, at that point, it's hard to believe that your past would come and diverge like this.
It's crazy. Both the teams I played down there, I actually played for. We played South Carolina the first game, and then we played West Virginia the second game. So I've had an interesting story, college story, but I'm glad it's finishing up here.
Was that Javon? Who was on that West Virginia team?
Deuce, Jordan,
okay.
Emmett was on there, Chase Harler was on there, Sean McNeil was on there, DC, Gabe, Logan Rout, Jermaine. Like, they had a squad, man. They had a good squad. It was a battle for sure.
What's your scouting report on the guy sitting next to you?
Defender, competitor. Get us in our offense, make some shots. Get out in transition. Just an old head, just like me. We got a couple old heads on the team that can lead the guys. We don't have a really young team. We might have a young team compared, when you look at it like, sophomore, junior, or whatever, freshman. But like, we got a lot of guys who have played basketball, whether at the JUCO level or at the high level. So, we got guys, like I said, who love being in the gym, and we have guys who have played basketball, a lot of basketball before. So it's just a matter of us bringing up those guys who need to learn, like our freshmen. We need to keep bringing them along. And they've done a great job learning, though. Both Josiahs, Harris and Davis, they've done a great job in the summer. And they've been open to hearing it. like from me, I'll just be like the most vocal guy on the team. Like they've been open to hearing it. Like there's days where they don't want to hear it from me, but they're gonna hear it. You know what I mean? And so, and I feel like that's part of my duty as an old head, like the fifth year. You know what I mean? Because when my freshman year, my seniors were on me like that as well, and so that's kind of like the culture, and that's part of the reason why Hugs brought me here.
Erik, if you look at, and not just at West Virginia, but basically college basketball all across the country, rosters today certainly don't look like what they did, 10, 15 years ago, in the sense that a lot of the older guys on teams are new guys.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if you break down this West Virginia team, there's technically nine new faces coming in. You say it's going to be a good year. How is it possible to mold that many new guys and build a winner out of that?
Yeah, we obviously we got a bunch of new faces, but most of our faces are old.
Yeah.
So I'm old. Obviously he's returning. He's old. Emmett's old, and Emmett's been in the system. So that's three guys who like I have no problem learning the system. So that's three guys that are going to know the system. They're going to know what Hugs wants, and they're going to go out there. They're going to go out there and be able to make plays, even when things are looking sideways for us. And I think the 9 guys that we got who transferred in, we don't have 9 guys that want to go get a bucket. We don't have 9 guys that, I need the ball this, I need the ball this. We got 9 guys that want to win. You know what I mean? And so, it's a blessing that we got a bunch of transfers and we got a bunch of older guys just because they know what it takes to win. And we don't have like I said, we don't have a bunch of guys who just need the ball. Obviously we have guys that can score. We have guys that should get the ball. And there's guys that are going to get the ball, but there's definitely situations and times like, all right, he needs the ball in this situation. He's got a mismatch or whatever. And our whole team understands that.
You spoke about Emmett. How did that conversation go when you talked to him about transferring, and how far back does that relationship go, obviously growing up with him, and what's that been like over the years? Yeah,
man, me and Emmett, I don't know, I've known Emmett since, I can't remember, elementary school though, for sure. We played, I think our first year playing together was 6th grade, but we knew each other before that. 6th grade, and then played a little bit with each other through middle school, and then in high school we played with each other, AAU-wise. But yeah, we talked a good amount. Like I said, we're older, and so, it was probably, last April, May-ish, when we really started talking about it. And, we only talked like 3 or 4 times, just because, like I said, we're old. We don't need, I don't have to give him a recruiting pitch to come back to where he came from, you know what I mean? And he doesn't have to give me a recruiting pitch, you know what I mean? I'm just like, bro, I've had 100 recruiting pitches. Just tell me he's going to do this, win, this, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Just give me the basics, and I'll make my decision. And, I was going to come here regardless. So, I mean, that's just how much I liked it. That's how much I enjoyed my official visit. And that's how much I believe in Hugs and enjoyed what he was telling me.
You've been on a range of teams with a variety of success levels. What is it about this team that makes you so confident in what you're seeing already?
Yeah, this team reminds me of my sophomore year, where we finished 23-8, the same year we played in Mexico. Just because we got guys who love being in the gym, and we got guys who don't get tired of the gym. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be in the gym for a month, but it's another thing to be in the gym for a whole summer. You know what I mean? So, we lived in the gym, we lived in the weight room, we had our conditioning days. You know what I mean? And I think the thing that shows me that we're going to be a good team is we never really came in here, early mornings and was dreading, our workouts. We were like, okay, like I got to come in and work out today. I got to come back later tonight and work out again. We got to get up tomorrow at 7 a.m. and run. You know what I mean? And so obviously none of those things are fun. Running in the morning after 3 workouts the day before that, it's not fun. But you never heard anybody come in the locker room and complaining like, this, that. I was like, man, we just got to get it over with. Get through it, and then we got our fun on the weekend. You know what I mean?
Erik, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Erik.
We'll get